everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. So, as you can maybe tell, I have a new podcast set up. If you're watching the video, you can see it, and I'm very much about it. I cannot take the credit for this. Someone very special did it for me. Anyway, so today's episode is going to be a juicy one. Definitely get out your journals, your notebooks. Definitely make a note to re-listen to this episode. And I also want to remind you that listening to my podcast is amazing. And I thank you for it. And I am grateful and humbled that you do. I know that there is a lot of very loyal listeners. Listening to it is fantastic, but taking action on it is a very different thing. So let's commit today to not just listening and being like, oh, sweet, now I'm aware of all of my trauma, but let's actually do something about it. And not just be aware, because awareness is great, but it doesn't actually fix anything. So we want to make sure that we are fixing things and that we are showing up as better versions of ourselves. So with that, let's jump into today's very juicy episode, all about how trauma shows up in your business. So I want to first preface by saying that I feel like I use the word preface a lot, by the way, random, but anyway, I feel like a lot, and this actually is like, not even I feel like, this is what I fucking see. I see so many coaches these days and like business coaches these days teaching about like energetics and be in the vibe, mindset, quantum leaping, manifestation, like whatever. They teach you about all these things, which is great and super important, fantastic. And they teach you about like strategy and like up your prices and do X, Y, and Z. That's all fabulous. But the missing piece that I want you guys to understand that does heavily affect your business is your trauma. And let's just remember that trauma doesn't mean necessarily huge things. It could be a breakup. It could be your confidence issues. It could be insecurity. It could be low self-worth. It could be that you're not valuing, your about the value exchange. It could be that you're not valuing your work. It could be the fact that you're overdoing yourself, like you're working too hard. Your trauma can show up in a million different ways. Let's remember that your trauma doesn't need to be ginormous things. It could be just like a recent traumatic, heartbreaking, heavy, emotional situation that's recently happened that is going to affect your business if you do not address it. So whether you have big trauma that you haven't addressed or whether it is more just like something a little bit more recent, I want you guys to understand that it's all relative and it all needs to be looked at because it does affect your business. So doing the energy, and like I do energetics, right? I do, like some business strategy. I do all those things when I'm helping my business clients as well. But the basis, like when I've got one of my one-on-one clients that wants like business help, or my Baba clients, I'm like, okay, let me look at like, yep, this is where you're stuck in your business. But I don't even care about the business, because what we're actually needing to fix is like trauma stuff. And then it shows up in their business. So whenever I have a new client come to me for they want to grow their business, I ask them everywhere they're stuck in their business. And then I ask them personal questions. And where we start in our journey is actually their personal stuff, like their quote unquote personal. They think it's personal, but it's not really. That, we start like they think it's not related to their business, then it's just their personal life, but it's all interconnected. So we start there. And what happens is that they start to see the results in their business as a result of them fixing the deeper inside shit, which is really, really, really important to look at. Because I know I'm meant to say that like you're not your business and like it's separate. And the reality is that you really should try and make it two separate things. You are more than your business. You don't want to feel like your personality is your business. And a lot of us, we are our fucking business, and our business is us. Because like for me, if your purpose is like, so my purpose is to change people's lives and to heal things that they never thought they could heal, right? That is my purpose. My purpose is to change people's lives. So if that's my purpose, that's also my business. So like it is I am my business. You know what I mean? Like, as much as I shouldn't be, and as much as you actually want to try and be like separate to your business, the reality is that a lot of it is you when you're running a very soul heart centered business. So let's just like fucking put that one, like kick that one to the curb. Because you are your business, what this also means is that your shit will show up in your business. Your trauma will show up in your business. Your insecurities will show up in your business. Your fucking confidence issues, your blocked throat chakra, your inability to speak up, your lack of boundaries, your money shit, your relationship issues, all of those things will, like your procrastination, all of those things will show up in your business if you don't look at them, because it's interconnected. So you have to look at it, in my opinion. You should look at it. If you want a successful business, you need to make sure that things aren't affecting your ability to have a successful business. Okay. So let me go through a few of the things of like how trauma shows up in your business and whatnot to give you guys some understanding of it. So let's do confidence. So your trauma will affect your confidence. And again, whether it is a small trauma, like you've gone through a breakup or a few friends have left your life, whether it's you moving across the world, all of those things are big energetic changes. Oh, I know what I was going to say before I didn't finish what I was saying before. So I do like energetic stuff and X, Y, and Z and like mindset and like a bit of strategy and whatever as part of my business coaching. Duh, of course, right? Like that's all part of it. But the majority and like the foundation that of what makes me different to other business coaches is that I'm like, I don't really care about your business. Your business is actually like what your problems in your business is actually telling me where your trauma is sitting. And then I'm going to fix your trauma. And then as a result, we will implement energetics, we'll implement mindset, we'll implement strategy, we'll implement, embodiment practices and feminine magnetism, and then your business will thrive. But the real reason why your business is thriving is not just the energetics and mindset and feminine, blah, blah, blah. Like that's helped it, but it's actually that we fix the foundation in which your business is built on. And the foundation is you. Your business is built on you. So if you don't fix you, your business is on a rocky foundation. And if you know business, you know that a business will not succeed long-term if it has a rocky foundation. Your foundation and your foundation in your accounts, your foundation in your strategy, your foundation in your SOPs, which are system operating processes. All of those things make a strong foundation, but you are the essence of that foundation if this is your business. Therefore, to ignore your shit is never a good idea, because your business will fail long term. If you want your business to succeed long term, and if you are playing the long term game, you would ensure that your foundation is really rock solid, really rock solid. So this is my concern when we have these, like, I hear about them all the fucking time, and you guys come to me after you've done this, right? Or you DM me. I really don't like hearing these stories about people paying exuberant amounts for, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't pay exuberant amounts to grow your business. Like I invest big time, right? That's important. And I have invested big time in my business. The problem that I see is I don't like it ethically when I see these women that like are making $5,000 a month and they go invest in something that costs $5,000 a month. That to me is not smart. And then, but the problem is they invest in something that isn't fixing the foundation. It's one thing to invest in something that's going to fix the foundation. It's another thing to invest in something that's like energetics and mindset and like strategy. When you also have confidence issues, you can't speak your truth, you don't draw boundaries, you procrastinate all the time. No matter how much of the energetics and mindset and strategy tools that you are given, if you cannot implement them to the full extent because of the confidence issues, the procrastination, the inability to speak your truth, X, Y, and Z, it's just, to me, like burning money. It's kind of pointless. You know what I mean? What you want is you want to have that strong foundation where then when someone gives you strategy ideas or when someone is helping you with energetics, you actually can fully implement them and embody them because there is no trauma blocking you in your steps, if that makes sense. And it actually makes me sad how this is like a missing link for a lot of people. And a lot of people just think that if they get this quick fix program, boom, I'm going to have all the answers. And it's like someone telling you, like, do this story on this day, do this story on this day. Here's a list of Instagram posts that you should do. And like, here's your story outlined for 30 days. Like, that's not going to make you fucking money if you can't implement it, if you're not magnetic, if you're confident in what you're talking about, if you don't know how to sell yourself, if you're not backing your value, like all of those things are actually so important in this whole process. So I don't even know where I was going with that. Anyway, so number one is your trauma affects your confidence is the first thing. Whether the trauma is like a recent heartbreak, whether it's sisterhood wounding stuff, whether it is, death of a family member, whether it is like an eating disorder situation, whatever the stuff is, it affects your confidence. And your confidence is everything in your business, because if you're not confident, you're not going to be able to sell yourself. You need to be confident in yourself and your services and in the value that you can provide in order to effectively speak about what your business is, whether it's product or whether it's service, doesn't matter. You need to be able to speak about it, and you need to be able to back it and do it confidently. If you are not 100% sure of yourself and you're not 100% sure of what it is that you can offer people, then no one's going to buy from you. Right? Your confidence is everything in your business. And not like, you don't have to be the most confident outwards person. Like, I don't want any of you guys thinking, oh, well, like, I don't want to have to like, rub strawberry down my body and sexy dance on my Instagram like Monica does in order to make money. You don't need to do that at all. I've got clients that all have different vibes to me. You do not need to do that. You need to be deeply self-confident and deeply embodied in the energy and idea of what I do provides massive transformation. What I do, serves people. The product that I provide makes people radiant when they put it on and they look at themselves in the mirror. It doesn't matter. Like, I've had product and service based businesses, business clients. That's why I'm telling you both. It doesn't matter what it is that you do. If you aren't confident in it, nobody is going to buy it. Full stop. The end. I don't care how many fucking Facebook ads you run. No one's going to buy it. And the reality is also that if you're not confident in what it is that you're providing, you'll also find yourself getting really, really drained, because it becomes harder to sell, because it's not this like inflow state. If you want to be able to easily sell in this like inflow state, well, when I say inflow, I mean like, you're like, oh, what should I talk about today on my Instagram stories? Boom, done. Here's the idea. That comes easily. Selling comes easily to you when you believe in what you're doing and when you fully back it. Selling becomes hard when you don't do that. So like, it doesn't matter how many fucking Facebook ads that you have. If you're not magnetic, which I'll talk about in a second, and if you're not providing sustainable success because you don't have that confidence, people aren't going to buy it. And the reality is that you're not going to create a sustainable business for yourself. The other thing that I also want to mention is that, like, hopefully you're not trying to make just a quick buck, right? Like, even if you just think, oh, all I have to do is like sell these services and then I make this amount of money, that also like is shit around money and self-value and whatever, right? That is also not at the right headspace that you want to be in, or the right energy that you want to be in to create a sustainable business long-term. And I'm seeing a lot of people that are just like money hungry. And we're all money hungry. Like, we all want fucking money because money creates a better life. Like, money allows us freedom. We can go nice places. We can buy nice things. We can have a nicer quality of life. Like, we all want money, yes. But if your sole driving force for your business is money, you are going to put yourself actually in a scarcity mindset. I'll talk about that maybe later in another episode. But if you, let's say, for example, you're like, I just want to make this much money, so I'm just gonna do 1 million Facebook ads. Well, the reality is that if the product isn't good because the energy isn't there, and because you don't believe in it, because you're actually not that fucking good at your job, or you don't actually care about the value, or you don't care about the transformation or the product or whatever for the client or the customer, just digest that for a second. Then the reality is, let's say you make 100 Facebook purchases from your Facebook ads. those people, if they have not received the value and they have not felt supported by you and actually like you care, will they be a repeat customer? Will they refer you? Will they talk about your business? No. So you're not creating a sustainable business. Like if you are only in it for the money and if you only care about the money, you're not going to create a sustainable business. Of course, we're all fucking in it for, some money, but if you want to feel like it's easy, if you're chasing money, you will also feel scarce at the exact same time because you'll constantly have this, I don't have enough, rather than feeling like there's this overflow of love and value and transformation and gratitude and like, holy shit for what you're doing in your business. When you have that energy, the money comes much more easily versus when you're constantly craving and running after money, you actually feel scarce at the exact same time, yet you think you are feeling abundant. It's quite interesting. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to speed this up because I need to phone my friend. She just phoned me. So the next thing about how trauma can also show up in your business is in your ability to speak your truth. Now, this is really important because if you like, for most of us, let's say you're a coach, for coaches, let's say you need, and even like for like consultants, like anyone, if you are a business owner, you need to be able to use your voice, right? You need, like these days, you have to show up online. You have to have an online presence. You have to be on Instagram stories. You have to do reels. You have to go to networking events. You have to reply to DMs. Like you need to be on podcast interviews. You need to do like whatever the situation, you need to make videos. You need to use your voice and you need to be seen. If you have trauma in whatever way, shape, or form, that will, even if you don't think so, it does affect your ability to very confidently and in a very grounded way speak what you want to speak about. Whether it's like truth speaking shit, or whether it's just talking about your services, or whether it's just selling something, or whether it's just, telling prices to a potential client, all of those things will be heavily, heavily affected and influenced by your trauma. Your ability to be seen is heavily influenced by your trauma. So if a coach tells you like, oh, just like journal this every day and then it's going to be good, I'm like, no, because if it was that easy for everybody, then people wouldn't be walking around with their trauma all the time, because you could read a book or just decide, actually, this isn't going to be part of my life. Now, some of us have the personality type where we could just decide something and boom, it's done. That is like the 0.000000001% of us. Those people have a very particular personality, and they're the people where people always ask, how the fuck do you do all of this? They're like, I don't know. I'm kind of one of them sometimes. I'm like, I don't know. And it's very, 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 very rare, which is why I say to you guys, please don't compare yourself to me, because I had a lot of trauma that I had to move through. And like I've said to you guys, I've naturally always been like an I don't give a fuck kind of person. And I've naturally always been like, if I decide something, I'm just going to go and get it. Like, I don't see what the problem is. I had to move through a lot of trauma to get where I am now and to be in the energy and the femininity that I am in now. I never had that. As you guys know, I used to be like heavily addicted to stress and adrenaline and this masculine hustle, and thought really, really, really bad things about men and all that. I used to be this cold fucking bitch. And now I'm like, when I tell people that now, they're like, whoa, you are like polar opposite then. Because I'm a very warm, affectionate, nurturing, empathetic, compassionate person now, but I never used to be like that. Anyway, so I don't want you guys comparing yourself to me or thinking that like my business was easy. I've tried to grow a business. Let's say I've been in the world of having your own business for about 8 years, since 2015. Is that 8 years? That's about 8 years. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yeah, 8 years. So about 8 years. And for about 4 of them, I was making barely any money, but I was showing up for myself and I kept going. So I don't want you guys to think this was like any kind of overnight success. I don't even want you guys to think that I did this in fucking 4 years, because whilst I feel like I grew this business, like my Monarchy Eats Health business, in about 4 years, I was running a food blog and I was trying to grow a business and figure out what I wanted to do for about 4 years prior to that. Now, those 4 years were really important because they allowed me to figure out what I wanted to get. But so many people these days are just like trying to find this quick fix solution. They are not putting in the work. It's this addiction to it's this addiction that we have these days in our society where we're very avoidant and we don't put in the effort to things. We're not patient. We've lost all of our fucking patience. And I told you guys, I'm not a very patient person, but I don't give up. And a lot of people give up these days. They give up in their relationships. They give up in their business. They give up in their careers. They give up in their health. They give up in their mindset. They give up because it's not quick enough. We live in this really fast-paced world, and this is part of the trauma. We live in this really fast-paced world, and it inhibits our ability to see our own progress and things. And we put too much pressure on ourselves. And we have this addiction to perfectionism, and we also procrastinate at the same time. When you understand trauma, it actually is very obvious what goes on. And it's like clear as fucking day to me. But I really want you guys to understand that like an inability to speak your truth, an inability to draw boundaries, an inability to show up online, an inability to be like to feel safe and confident and excited about being seen does heavily affect your business. And this is why I say like fix your fucking trauma before you go into business. Sometimes I have people that email me their case and then they're like, should I do Queen Alchemy or Baba or whatever? Or they'll tell me like, I want to join Baba. Here's all my things. Like, is it a good fit? And I'm like, no, you need to go and do Queen Alchemy first. And I say that because I don't want someone joining Baba that, hasn't done any kind of work on themselves yet, because it's just not, they're not going to fucking implement everything. If you are in a really bad place and then you want to just grow your business, it's like, and a lot of people think when they're in a bad place, if they grow their business, things are going to get better. Like I'm in a really, really scarce place, or when I'm in a really bad mindset. If I grow my business, if my business works, then I'll feel better and then I'll do Queen Alchemy. I'm like, that's really not going to work like that. Like I've done this for enough years. This is the 6th round of Baba. I've done this for enough years to know that doesn't fucking work. What does work is like, as long as you have a decent foundation of inner work and you are willing to put in the work with Baba, you're willing to like show up and implement, then Baba fucking works. If you're not willing to implement things, then it's not going to work, if that makes sense. And I want to preface implement over a long period of time, not implement for a month and then be like, oh, it didn't work. No, implement for a year, implement for 6 months, implement for 3 months. That's what you need to do. It takes time. It took me about 6 months to even get really a consistent situation of selling clients. I would say it was about 9 months, and about 9 months of consistently showing up. Then I started getting a serious amount of consistent clients. And after about a year, then it was very, very consistent. But even still, I show up every fucking day, whether there's a podcast happening, whether there's the magazine, whether there's an email going out, whether there's an Instagram post, whether it's an Instagram story, in some way, shape, or form, I'm showing up every single day. And I have kind of for the past 4 years, even if it's showing up of I'm in hospital, another knee surgery. What it's allowing people is to feel connected to me. They never then feel disconnected. They never feel like I've dropped the ball. It allows them to feel like I take this seriously and I take my business seriously and this work seriously. And it's not just like, oh, life was a bit hard. I just clocked out for a little bit, like, and then I came back in. No, it's like I'm consistent with this because this is my career. It's not just like, oh, I don't feel like it today. This is my livelihood. This is my career. This is a full on fucking job. And in doing that, as a result, I have a thriving business, let's just say. Okay, next couple things I want to mention to you guys before I'm going to quickly eat some dinner at 9:30 at night. Lol. Just had a photo shoot, so we've kind of been finishing late and I really want to do this episode. Is magnetism. So magnetism is really important in your business, especially as a woman, but for everybody. And it's that thing that just draws people in. It's you being magnetic. It's just these people, it's people being like, I just need to be in this person's energy. I want what this person has. I want to learn from this person. Like it's just this constant, it can even be, I want to keep listening to this person's podcast. And then down the track, they invest in you. The magnetism is important. Now, if you have, let's say, sexual trauma in any way, shape, or form, or trauma around your femininity or your sensuality, and men, if you have trauma around your masculinity and also your sexuality, it affects your life force energy. So your sexual energy is your life force energy, and it's also your creative energy. It's all looped into one, it's all the same thing. So when your life force energy is really, really low, your magnetism is also depleted. Additionally, because your magnetism is depleted and your life force energy and your sexual energy, your creative energy, and therefore your creative flow is also depleted. As a result, you feel quote unquote stuck all the time, or you feel blocked, or you feel like you're lacking creative ideas, or you feel like you just can't attract in X, Y, and Z, or you feel like things are really hard or that you're constantly pushing. That is like things don't flow, things don't feel easy, things don't feel nourishing and exciting. You don't get into those just like flow states for a week. That's a result of a lack of life force energy and sexual energy, which is also affected by your trauma. If your body is constantly in a subconscious state of fight or flight, so you may not be aware of it, and your body is constantly eliciting this trauma response. If you've listened to my episode recently about what trauma is, make sure you listen to that. So basically with trauma, even if you're not aware of it, your body can actually be in a constant state of fight or flight, and your body is reliving trauma from whatever situation, and you're not aware of it. You learn to live with it. But what happens is your nervous system and your adrenals are constantly being depleted all the time. And therefore your libido is often low. And your sexual energy is also really low. And therefore your life force energy and your creative energy is also low. So, what I want you guys to understand is that when you heal your feminine energy and your masculine energy, and for men, mostly masculine, a little bit feminine, for women, mostly feminine, a little bit masculine, when you heal that, and when you heal your sexual trauma, your trauma around your sexuality as a man or a woman, when you heal your trauma around your femininity or your masculinity, it allows you, and then you heal your trauma around being seen and showing up and speaking your truth and being confident and being self-expressed and all that stuff that comes with having sex. So vulnerability, all those things. When you heal your heart, when you heal all those things, and you have more of a flow of sexual and life force energy, that really helps in you feeling magnetic and you having ideas that will allow you to attract in high paying clients, high paying customers, but also just attract in ideas that are going to grow, expand, quantum leap your business. This energy of magnetism and sexual energy is also what is really, really, really important for, what was I going to say? Sorry, my friend had texted me. This energy is also really, really important for the energetics to be implemented, the manifestations to be implemented and therefore come into fruition, the mindset stuff to be implemented, the strategy stuff. Like if you want those things that a lot of coaches would give you to work, you need deep self-confidence. You need the magnetism. You need the ability to speak your truth. You need the excitement. So you need to be feeling safe to be seen. You need excited to be seen. You need life force energy. You need sexual energy. You need boundaries. You need a good relationship with money. You need all these things that you're missing, not because like you didn't learn it and you learn it from a business coach. You're missing these things because of inner child work, childhood trauma, things that have happened as you as an adolescent, recent experiences that have caused you to feel insecure or like you can't speak your truth or whatever the situation is. Those things affect your business. So when my clients are like, X, Y, Z is happening in my business, blah, blah, and then like, and then so is happening in my friendship circle, I feel X, Y, Z, and then all this stuff's coming up. I'm like, okay, well, we just need to fix the sisterhood stuff. Let's just say, for example. And then I explain to them how it's all being reflected in their business. And they're like, oh my God. And then when we do all the healing stuff, I'm like, right, so we've healed X, Y, and Z, which means now A, B, C is going to happen in the business. And then guess what? It does. Because it's not like, think about it like this. Your trauma is showing up in your business. It doesn't mean you fix it in your business. It means you fix it at the root. And when you fix it at the root, your business succeeds as a result. Right? So I'm a fan of the manifesting, of the energetics, of the mindset, of all the quantum fucking tools. Like, yes, give me them all. They're sexy, they're fun, they're vibey. And they only fucking work properly when the foundation is strong, and the foundation has to be free and clear of your trauma, big and small, recent and from when you were 2 years old. All of it needs to be gone, and it can be gone. It might feel really overwhelming to you, but trust me, like, to me, it's not overwhelming. To me, if you type me a 3-page document, I'm like fucking vibes. Like, I swear to God, I get these emails with 3-page documents of all the trauma, and I am like wet. I am jizzing in my seat. It excites me so much. It's not overwhelming to me. It's not overwhelming. I get turned on by, maybe I'm a bit fucked in the head. I get turned on by the long list of trauma because I'm like, this is my jam. This is the peanut butter to my jelly. This is what I can fucking fix. So, ladies, Baba is open for the 6th round. I'm so excited. There's a few changes that are being made. I'm going to do a little episode on that. And there's a video on the website page, so you can check it all out. Please, I'm going to do another episode about all the business changes that are happening at the moment. Please make sure that you send me an email or a DM with your questions, queries, concerns about Baba. Even if you don't know if it's the right fit, literally just send me a DM being like, hey, Monica, thinking about Baba. This is my situation. These are all my blocks. What are your thoughts? And I will give you my thoughts of whether it's actually a good fit or not. You guys know I'll give you the honest truth. Make sure you go back and re-listen to old episodes. The podcast directory is a really great place to go to on my website. If you just click the menu tab, you'll see the podcast directory, and then you can scroll through under different subjects and re-listen to episodes about different topics. So if you want to dive to like dating or business or feminine energy or trauma or like men or whatever the situation is, or women or periods or whatever, you can just jump around and re-listen to episodes. I really encourage you guys to re-listen to episodes if you haven't already. Also, if you don't know, we now have a podcast Instagram page, which is just going to be full of chicken nuggets. It's not silly or like boring. It's basically just a chicken nugget page, lots of quotes, lots of inspiration, super high vibe. Make sure that you're following that, because who wouldn't want daily chicken nuggets from me? I mean, I like my own chicken nuggets. I read these and I'm like, damn, this is really good what I said. So make sure that you go check that out. And for those of you coming to the New York event, make sure that you join the Telegram group. I'm so excited for this event. I only run one a year. So if you haven't bought your tickets, don't be fucking lazy. I know COVID's made us all so effing lazy. Don't be lazy. Get off your ass. You know this event will change your life. Stop waiting for like, I don't know, some easy way out. There isn't an easy way out. This is 3 days and then you're done. Like 3 days and your life has changed. And I basically can guarantee that if you show up fully for the 3 days and you go all in, I guarantee you that you are not going to walk out the same woman. So please make sure you come to that, because it will change your life. And I only do one a year. So fuck waiting a whole other year when you literally could have your dream life by the end of this year instead of having to wait another year to have that shit. Life is short. Make the jump, take the leap, and let's fucking go.